and once again we're organizing my own space. So I'm gonna have to be honest, these are my manuals, and I have collected them from several different parts of my house, and I never realized how many I had until I actually put them all together into one location. And I've been finding a lot of my clients have the same issue, so I felt like this might be a fun project to organize, and maybe you'll learn something from it that might help you manage your electronics manuals a little bit better. So I have no idea what's in here, what's happening in with these manuals. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna speed it up, see what happens, and then we're gonna strategize in a few minutes. So be right back. Okay, so we have sorted through all of the things we had, and what we ended up with was a pile of recyclable paper, pile of trash, a pile of manuals that are still current, and a pile of PC recycler electronics. So we're still thinking about how to really organize some of this. So give us a minute. Making progress. So I somewhat alphabetized my house manuals, and I put some of them in plastic. If they had, that wasn't a very good example, but if they had software, parts, cables, and whatnot, we put them in plastic. Some of them already come from the manufacturer in plastic, so it makes it easier. So putting them standing makes it simple to kind of flip through and find what you need. We alphabetize them by manufacturer, so so things are just kind of easy. They're not obsessively compulsively organized, but it's way better than it used to be. And if I need a manual, I should probably be able to find it within 30 seconds. So that works. So this is all of my things that I would take with me when I moved out of the house, and then we're gonna create one with things that we would leave with the house when we moved. So, and they would include refrigerators and stoves and washing machines and things like that. So we're gonna put those in there. Now, in the process of organizing, we also found things like ceiling fans, which you probably will never need the manual once you install them, and some of the parts are probably completely useless once you're done installing it. So I'm gonna purge these away. And of course I found lots of old electronics and cords and duplicates of things that I no longer needed. So it was a great time to find a pile for the PC recycler and to purge a lot of the things that we don't need anymore. So it's time well spent. I think this took us about 30 minutes, so it was a short project that can have a lot of benefit in days to come. Now we're going to take this to a third level, and obviously I have cords to things that I need regularly. So we're going to develop a new system to have easy access to those things in a way that is fairly organized and easy to find and put back when we're done. So come and see what we do next.